Much. We now move to the motion in the name of Assembly Member Dismore.
Diwali is celebrated by many thousands of Londoners in our Hindu, Sikh and Jain communities, marking the victory of light over darkness, good over evil. Celebrating Diwali is one of those things that makes London special. The vibrancy, energy, colour and food of the Diwali celebration are always unforgettable. The Mayor is rightly keen to promote the city as open, and nothing says that better than Diwali. London's strength is built upon its historic diversity and multiculturalism, with Diwali celebrations providing a major boost to community relations and integration each year. In these divisive political times, it's extremely important that we celebrate the message of the festival. It's therefore absolutely right that schools in London teach about Diwali. Every child in London should know that they live in a proudly multicultural society and why their school friends and neighbours are celebrating different festivals like Diwali. However, this may not be the view of all Assembly members. Indeed, one has even written in a pamphlet I have here, you bring your children to school and they learn far more about Diwali than Christmas. What it does is rob Britain of its community. Without our community, we slip into a crime-riddled cesspool. The AM concerned may have attempted to apologise for his writings, suggesting if I've caused offence to anyone, if I've caused anyone any offence, please don't take offence, which is hardly an apology and a repudiation of his statements, and to suggest they were taken willfully out of context is clearly wrong.
Assembly Member Dismore,
are
you quoting a member of this Assembly?
I am.
Well, I don't think that you should do so.
I don't see why it's out of order, Chair.
I'm advised that it is.
On what basis?
The Chairman's ruling, advice from officers.
Well, I'm sorry, Chair, but I see nothing wrong with what I'm saying. I've got the pamphlet here.
Yeah,
I've got the pamphlet here. I'm not quoting it out of context, and there's those who criticise the words in here taken out of context. The
objection is that you are quoting a member of the Assembly, and you're simply.
I'm not standing for anything. I'm not standing for Mayor. And of course, these statements were.
I have been given formal words to use.
And I would simply say, Chair,
what a member of the Assembly has said in the past when not undertaking GLA business is not relevant here today.
Well, I would question that.
Listen, look,
I could question that, Chair, because
I am advised. I'm advised by officers that this is out of order. We employ officers to tell us these things,
well,
and I very much hope that you will accept that advice.
Well, I'm sorry, Chair.
So
it's not have other meetings to go to.
But not till 2 o'clock.
Do not belittle this. You know, I did say at the last meeting of the Assembly, I didn't want the Assembly to be using this as a kind of adjunct for the election activities of any particular party or any particular candidate. Well, and I think that this is something that you're doing.
Well, I'm not standing for Mayor.
So I'm ruling this part of your speech out of order, and that's that.
Well, Chair, I actually have here the document.
I'm ruling it out of order. Do proceed to something else.
Well, I will.
In relation to your motion.
Right, I will, but I am rather surprised and disappointed to read these views, which I'm sure are not shared by very many in this chamber today. And I believe, and I hope that the majority here also believe, that we should fully support the fact that Diwali and indeed other communities' festivals are taught in our schools across the capital, with or without censorship from the Chair for political reasons.
No, I don't accept that, and I must ask you to withdraw that. My job is to be entirely objective. I work on the advice of officers who are equally objective. So I would ask you please to withdraw that suggestion that I am not being objective.
Can I make a point of order?
Of course.
Thank you. Well, it was just seek some clarification on that basis. Are we to now believe that what any Assembly member has said in the past can never be quoted in any Assembly meeting? Is that your ruling? Yeah. And does that apply to the Mayor as well?
I'm seeking advice.
The advice provided to the Chairman would usually be that GLA resources must be used for GLA business, and therefore that comments may previously by a mayor or assembly member in a previous capacity would not usually relate to the business at hand.
Well, on a point of order, my comments were directly related to my motion.
Can I?
On teaching
let
of
me,
Diwali in
let me
schools.
please suggest a way out of this. Can this go to the next Bureau of Leaders so that we can thrash it out and we have it chapter and verse? To actually deal with this on the hoof in this way, I don't think is the way to deal with it.
I'm fine with that.
Well, let's firstly.
It would be most unreasonable, and I would like to know what regulations, right, on which this is being based upon, right? You cannot go around making arbitrary decisions. What we do require is the regulation on which the decision is made, right? It seems quite absurd that we can't quote a comment made by an Assembly member previously, and if it does apply to Assembly members, then it applies equally to the Mayor. So I think we would like you, Chair, to give us the ruling, right, on which we can rely upon repeatedly and not arbitrarily.
Well, Assembly members, I have said that the appropriate way now to deal with this is to go to the Bureau of Leaders so that we know how to deal with this chapter and verse. You know, you're quite right. To deal with this on the hoof is not something which I would wish, but I am acting on the advice which I have received. Assembly Member Bacon.
Chairman, I understand the argument has now broken out. I think it's rather pity that it has, because the motion of the wording as written is something I think everybody in the room will support. I think your suggestion of taking this to Bureau and deciding it there is better than the undignified squabbling that we're doing at the moment. So let's move on, get the motion seconded, and then we can debate the motion.
Yes. Okay. Assembly Member Bailey.
Do I have the right to say something in you want me to say about me?
Well, no.
I didn't know you. You might as well have done.
Point of clarification about when we look at this.
So we're not going to move on
outside of the meeting.
Discussing it.
Can we get clarification on whether it is required that an Assembly member raises a point of order in terms of things being in order or not? Because I don't believe any Assembly member actually raised an objection to Andrew Dismore's speech just now, and I'm not sure that that was quite within the
I think that Tony Arbor is an Assembly member. He's also the chair.
And also clarification on which of our standing orders it is that's being invoked in this case when this gets looked at.
I think it's entirely appropriate that I should do this on the advice